With modern garden design becoming more and more popular, there's a definite shift from more traditional flowering plants to more contemporary textural plants. But you don't need to completely redesign your whole garden to get the look. I'll show you how to select these plants and how to use them. So when it comes to textured gardening or textured plants, what are we actually talking about? Well, texture is the consistency of a surface, and when it comes to garden design, I like to think of my garden beds as artworks, like a blank canvas that I want to add interest to. And I'm going to do that through different heights, shapes, forms, and colour. You want your garden bed to look great from afar, but then you want things to draw you in, and you do that with tactile things like this casuarina. You just can't help but get close and touch this. Adding texture to a drought-tolerant or contemporary garden is really easy because you've got a massive array of cactus and succulents that give you architectural form and lovely glaucous colour. But your garden doesn't have to be all cactus to make it textural. Have a look at this display. We've got vertical accent in the cactus and a lovely silver olive, but then it's combined with rounded Raphia lepsis and natives like Lomandra and Westringia. You can do this in a formal garden as well. Like with these clipped topiary balls. Now, when these are mass planted, I love the way they give you a cloud-like feel, and over there it just looks so sleek and modern. You can do it with cactus as well. Take a look at these golden barrels. They look fantastic. And then brought down into the foreground, the zoysia turf, which will just give you a lovely bit of texture down at ground level. When it comes to adding textural plants to your garden, you don't need to rip out what's already there. You just want to add interest through adding in texture. And I'm going to do that with these plants. Now, this is Kalanchoe copper spoons. It's a lovely upright succulent. You can tell why it gets its name through the shape of its leaf. I'm like a kid in a candy shop. There's just so much to choose from. But when you're selecting plants for your own garden, you need to try and imagine the shapes you want to put together and the space they're going to grow into. The plants I've already got would really benefit from having some lovely round structure to them. So I'm using this. This is Crassula bluebird. It gets naturally a lovely bun shape. It's got a nice red tinge to the end of the leaf, but a glaucous colour to the main part.
What should I do when nothing makes a difference? What should I say?
So we're back from the nursery and we're going to be planting up this garden. Now, this is like so many in Australia. It's okay, but it just needs a bit of a lift. It's got the startings of some texture with these Dracaena and the soft grasses, but of course we need to add some more. First stage is to set your plants out. I'm starting with my biggest plants. This is Raphia lepsis, Oriental Pearl. And I'm placing it up here because we've got the rounded shapes of the Tunica, although they're quite light and fluffy. This gives us a more clipped round shape, so it sits comfortably next to them. You then look at the dark spots at the back of the garden beds, and I want something that's going to be a bit taller and a bit brighter. Something like this oak leaf is perfect. Where are you going to go? In there. Adding light to the back of the garden bed really makes the plants stand out. It's going to show off both of them nicely. I'm beside you, fighting the fight. I'm now adding some coastal rosemary that's been clipped into a ball. Now, this adds another texture because the leaf is so fine. By repeating the same shapes throughout the garden bed, it just adds layers of texture and makes the garden feel like it was designed as one.
You take the bitter with the sweet and hold on to what you feel. Getting no guarantee.
I love the colour of these copper spoons, and they're going to get a little bit taller and contrast with the rounded coastal rosemary. I'm also putting in some bluebirds because the blue and the copper goes really nicely together, and that's just a little bit softer than the clipped balls. Then I'll get on to setting out the foreground. For the foreground, I'm using Casuarina Cousin It. Now, this has got a lovely growth habit that just spreads out, and it's going to grow over the front of these rocks, and slowly they'll disappear from your eye. It also adds a lovely textural element just with this Westringia. you can see there's a few spots around as well. So I'm going to go around the garden, see what I can lift and divide and bring in for free. So I found a couple of plants that suit our theme really well. We've got the agave attenuata, or century plant. Now this is so easy to propagate. You literally cut it off and stick it in the ground and it's going to grow. And also found these variegated lirioques. These lift and divide. I've left some in a clump over there so we're not stripping from the garden. And they'll add a nice vertical accent and a nice bit of light colour as well. And the best part about it is it doesn't cost the earth. And with that done, to finish it off, we're just going to apply some mulch. So you can see, by just adding some textured plants, you can completely redesign and transform your garden.